And welcome to Broncos Central. I'm Nathan McKenzie, and today's episode we're going to talk about a preview between the Broncos and Manly Sea Eagles this Saturday night. This is a big one for the Broncos, coming off a loss to the Roosters. Wasn't too happy with the start last week. I was actually expecting a game like this over the last month, with the amount of injuries that we've got. The team's done such a great job defensively against the Tigers and against the Dogs, but Roosters was just another level up. And we just saw what they did in the first half. I guess the last try was lucky from Sam Walker. But you have to put yourself in those positions to make that luck. This is a different week. Walsh and Carrigan are back again for the second week in a row, so that only benefit the team better. Attacking wise, I think attack's never going to be the problem. And that's one thing with these injuries that we've seen other players step up. Ezra has stepped up. Reynolds, you saw what Reynolds did when Walsh and Carrigan were off. So every player stepping up. And big news, so in the future moving forward, when I do all of these episodes, I'm going to do it one day previously, so I won't know this information, but just luckily enough, I was on social media today, and it looks like Benny Hunt's going to be put straight into the halfback role, which means young Tom Doffey will probably go onto the bench, and Josh Rogers will probably be out of the squad. I think that's a great inclusion. Benny Hunt is, he's told basically the world that he wants that number 7 role next year. We still don't know what's going on with him, whether he's going to stay another 12 months. But I think that's a big inclusion for the Broncos. And we saw what they did. Even though we got the victory against the Titans, we just saw those two working together, him and Ezra, in that game. So I think that's going to be a big lift for the Broncos. We just need to work on defence like we did in those 2 previous games. Manly, I think 5 weeks in a row they've been up for it. Foreman's done a great job with this team since taking over from Seabold. You've seen what they've done. They did to the Dolphins. What they did to the Cowboys. Yes, they thumped the Dragons and the Eels, but they came up against the Penny Panthers last week, and they gave them a good run for their money, and they probably should have won, even though there was a bit of controversy about the third try. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get that win. Penrith went over the top of them. But they played really well. Their pack is actually doing really well. Their backs are strong. I think whatever Foreign's telling them, they're obviously, taking it on board and they're following suit. It's going to be a tough game. I've actually tipped the Broncos in this one. I was explaining this recently in my last video, sorry. I tip with my head, not my heart. If I tip with my heart every week, the Broncos would be tipped, and as we've seen already this year, I would have lost how many tips already. Luckily enough, the good news is if I do lose the tip and my team win, I would prefer that. I would rather my team win and lose the tip than I tip the Broncos to win and both they lose and I lose the tip. So there is a win-win in some respects. This week is a big one. I think we'll get back on the winning circle. I don't know how long Manly can stay at this level. I think they can, but I think coming up against a squad like the Broncos and the way we're playing of late, and I think the only thing is 4 Pines Park, okay? Broncos have got a really bad record of 4 Pines. They've only won twice there since 1988. They've only won there twice, and I can't even remember watching the game when we won. I remember other teams winning there. I remember watching the Cowboys win there back in 2004. I remember other teams upsetting Manly at this ground. I can't remember us beating them there for a long time. So, and it's on a Saturday night too. It's not a good hunting ground for the Broncos at all. It looks like we're going to be wearing the navy blue strip again. I'm a Broncos fan. I love the traditional maroon and gold. I actually prefer a away strip to be gold. Like this whole time it's always white really frustrates me. I just don't understand why we're just now back to the traditional. Say what you want about the Rabbitohs, the Roosters, the Dragons, but I want to keep the same home strip every year. We can change the away strip if that's how they want to use to make money and stuff like that, but I want to keep the same home strip every year. And they can alternate if they want to, but go back to the original gold up top, maroon down the bottom. You can look at my banner on my YouTube channel on Facebook, you'll see it. I just love that jersey, and I love to see it more often. I do love the maroon, though. I know everyone's going, but we're Queensland. Yeah, but we're Broncos first, So what's your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below what you think is the better jersey? You prefer the maroon generally, or you prefer the gold to outweigh the maroon, or are you a bit of both on occasion? Now, this year I thought was interesting with the guard. I know I'm going off topic here. We're talking about basically doing the preview of the game, but I haven't had a chance to talk to you about my love for this team. Other than if you go back to my previous video with the tipping side of things, I talked about where my love for the team came from and the like. But Broncos are traditionally blue. Like we brought it in, I think. Like we had that turquoise blue in the late 90s during I think the 98 season, and also in 95 or 96, I think we brought it in as well. Just to offset a couple of games. I think we even went to Manly. I think we wore that jersey as well. Didn't like. I'd love to have it to add it to my collection, but I don't think I ever loved the jersey. I love the fact where this jersey stems from, where it comes from. You know, Cyril Connell. But it does look pretty good. The game against the Tigers, I liked it, but when they announced at the end of last year that was going to be our away strip, I even started to think, who are we going to be playing against to wear this jersey? You look at the away games, you should have went to the Storm. You can't wear blue because it clashes. So, and then they thought, oh, we'll do a heritage jersey and do the 06 grand final away jersey. No one liked that jersey back in 06. I don't know. I know that I saw it a lot getting around, but not many people liked it. Now all of a sudden everyone loves it, which is great. I love the fact that we're on the bandwagon of loving this jersey. But to be honest, I wish the logo was just yellow on every strip. Like even our home jersey, I wish the logo was gold. Like the new logo, not the old one. Yeah, but the fact that the home strip it's white. I think it's the same with the blue jersey, and with the white jersey it's blue. So I just wish it was gold on every single one. The white strip, I can understand the blue. I get that. And yellow probably wouldn't stand out as much, but yeah, I just don't understand why our away jersey is blue, because a lot of the teams we play against, we clash. You know, luckily we were against the Tigers. I think we get, like I said, I think we're going to wear it this week against Manly, so it's good to finally get it out there. But I think they should have just designed a better away jersey than that blue one. Going back to this game, we played each other 35 times. Manly are on top, 18 points, 18 to 16. There's one draw in there. We go back to the last two games. We got flogged this time last year. Yeah, the team was in a different position. We went in a different start last year. And then we started to fall away a little bit. And then after Origin, like most seasons, we then started to step up, and we all know what happened. We won the grand final. And I think I spoke about this during my tipping video, but Manly fans, stop this thing about we have to play at 4 Pines Park every year because we played the Broncos at Suncorp. You weren't made to. You got money. You got thrown heaps of money by the NRL to play at Suncorp Stadium as your home ground. No one forced you to. Okay? We are playing at your home ground. Next year, you play at ours. That's how it should work. You alternate. Or if you're lucky enough, or unlucky enough to play each other twice in a season, you play both stadiums. So, yes, I understand we played at 4 Pines Park for a while, and it's actually good to get back there. I've been there once. It wasn't a good experience because we lost. But now we alternate, okay? So you chose to take the money and play at Suncorp Stadium as your home ground. I'm pretty sure you got a shitload. And I'm pretty confident that you got a better crowd and a bigger crowd than you ever would have got at 4 Pines Park. So don't complain about us playing away to you guys at 4 Pines Park or Brookvale, as you all know. All right, you look on form. Since form has taken over, you know, unlucky to not get the win last week. 4 out of 5 Manly. And the wins that you have done, like you thumped the Dolphins. You know, you beat the Dragons. I wouldn't say you flogged them, but you actually came over the top of them late in the second half. You dominated the Cowboys. And the one thing about the Dolphins and the Cowboys games, you beat them at their home ground. And yes, you beat the Eels at home. But to be honest, the Dolphins game was the only Cowboys game. Those two games you mainly overpowered both of those sides. But the other games, the Dragons and the Eels games, both games were actually 50-50, you know, halfway through those games. Then Manly overpowered them. And then the Panthers game last week was it was a great game to watch. I mean, as a Broncos fan, I was supporting Manly. It doesn't happen that often. But I was hoping Manly would get up in that one. I was just unlucky. And unfortunately, goal kicking was the problem. I know they didn't have Fogarty. But I'm not saying if he was there that would have made it any better. But they did really well, and like I said, the fact that what they've done as a club since Vaughan's taken over, that's something very to be proud of. But I'm proud of the Broncos team too. We've the amount of players we've lost. If you go through our socials and have a look at the injury list that we've had in the last month, and it just keeps happening. We've got more injuries. Like Reynolds is out this week, Staggs is out through suspension. But these young fellas coming up, they're getting an opportunity they never would have at all. Unless State of Origin comes around. And you can only, we're lucky we get 2 buys out of that State of Origin period. There's probably 1 game, I think. I don't know if it's the same this year, but I'm pretty confident it is, and it has been recently over the last many years. There's 1 game that we're playing with the other State of Origin stars. But these players are going to be up for it. They've done it. They've been here before. These about big name players will come back, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Just looking through some of the stats here, like I said, we have not got a good success rate at this ground. Like I said, and I think these stats, when have they? I can't see that. I'm just on the NRL.com site, just so you're all aware. It says 2 out of the last 10. 1-10 lost, so 1-2 lost 10. I'm not sure if that's 12 games. We would have played more than 12 games over the last, 30 or 37 years, 38 years, you would think. I could be wrong. You look at it, I suppose. We play a lot of games at Suncorp. You go half and half, that's 24. Yeah, that could be, but yeah, it's gonna be a good game. Like I said, I tipped the Broncos. Like the last 2 games, I must be honest, I actually tipped the Roosters, I tipped the Tigers, and I tipped the Bulldogs. And I'm so proud of the fact that we got up over both the Dogs and the Tigers. Yes, I know the Dogs have gone downhill. I talked about last night's game because this was supposed to be posted last night, so I don't want to jump ahead. But yeah, Broncos for me for this one. I think it'll be a tight one. I think the Broncos will get up 22 points to 16. Actually, no, let's change that. I reckon we'll get up 22 points to 12. I think it's going to be a tight one. I think we're going to be level, probably 16 to 12 with about 5 minutes to go, and they're going to go for a long effort try, and we're going to get an intercept and run the length and make it 22 points to 12. So that's my tip. Broncos all the way, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.